Okay, this is LAQ, and he's been around Marseilles a long time. He knows a lot of people because he used to be he cut everybody's hair. He's a barber, right?
Born and raised here too.
And born and raised there. Good. Well, we're going to have some questions now. You were in World War II, and you were in the Army, right? And you served in South Pacific for 2.5 years. Yeah. And Ellie, how old are you now?
91.
91. How about that? You're doing well. Yeah, you look good. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. And so you can tell us, you say you were born and raised in Marseilles?
In Marseilles.
Lived here all your life?
All my life.
Yeah. How many children did you have?
4 girls.
4 girls.
We got 1 left.
And 1 left, yeah.
I lost a wife and 3 daughters.
Yes.
But I got the littlest one still alive.
Okay, well,
Sandy.
that's good. Sandy, well, good.
4'6", 67 pounds.
I remember her so well at the swimming pool. She was always at the pool.
At the pool.
Always.
Yes.
And she won't have an automatic transmission, a stick shift.
Oh, that's good.
That's all
and
she
I'm sure she knows the person that's videoing you here is Ruth Sutton. So you might tell her hello from Ruth, okay?
Hello, Ruth.
And Ruth isn't much bigger than her either, so.
Oh, yeah, well.
Yeah, that's good. Yep. Yes. So what did you were in the service from, let's see, what year did you go into World War II?
Well, it was the later part of 43.
43.
And then I was in there for 44, 45.
Oh, in 45, okay. Yep. What did you like best about it? Or did you have anything did you enlist or were you drafted?
11 of us guys went in from Marseilles. We all lied about our age. And we had 2 years of high school is all. And when we come out, they didn't have the GEDs at that time.
Oh, yeah.
And I got the regular diploma for 1944, which would have been my graduating class for Mr. Hawley, Mr. Crawshaw, Buffalo. It was the members of the board.
Is that right?
And I got it right above my kitchen table. I got to look right at it.
They gave you your high school diploma.
Yep, not a GED or nothing. It was a diploma.
Wow.
Yep.
And they knew you learned a lot in the service, I bet.
Well,
yeah.
The superintendent of schools, I wonder why my whole family and them were over there in the gym. And everybody, my family. And the superintendent called me up on the stage and he said, "Alan, got a surprise for you. Here's your diploma." And he said, "You want to say a few words?" Me, I had tears running out.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Oh God.
That's an exciting moment you'll never forget,
Never.
right? How about that?
And all my family was there. All the cousins. And
Oh my
I couldn't
goodness.
believe it. Everybody was there, you know.
Until they told you.
Beside that, I cut his hair.
You cut his hair, okay. Maybe that's why he gave you the diploma.
I don't know.
That is good. What a story. What a story.
Mr. Andrews was there. Clyde Crawshaw, Buffalo. See, they were all school board members.
Oh, is that right? And they knew you well.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yes, that's good.
Hey, we didn't have an empty store on Main Street.
That's right. Back then, no, we didn't.
We never had an empty store on Main Street.
Wow.
We had 3 theaters.
Oh, wow.
When I tell people that, we had 3 theaters, the Ritz next door, the Coliseum across the street, and the Mars up the street.
Wow, the Mars. Oh, the Mars lasted the longest. I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, the
Mars.
Mars did last so long.
Yeah. Well, I hope sometime Marseilles can go back to having a lot of little businesses and like that. Who knows? Things change, don't they?
Well, the big box stores and the automobile is what run everybody out of Marseilles. So the big box stores in Joliet.
Oh.
I remember with the people's cars, boy, they all wanted to go to Joliet on the weekend. And they did.
Yep.
And boy, that was the end of Marseilles stores.
Wow. Yeah.
My first job on Main Street was Bernardi's.
Oh, okay. Renardi's. What was that? What did they do?
Grocery store.
Oh, grocery store. Yep. And then we had the F&M, didn't we?
Yep, and it was across the tracks.
Yeah. And then we had a lot of little homes had their living room turned into a little
Stores.
grocery store, and they lived in the back.
You take Tonelli's, had a store on the hillside. They rented the upstairs apartment. They lived in the middle. They had the grocery store down below.
Right.
And when on Sunday you wanted something, you just rapped on the door. They come to the door.
And so
Nobody had to have a car.
That's right.
They didn't
Yeah.
have to have a car. They had everything right there.
That changed things, the car then, right? But I guess that's just kind of progress, though, too, to have a car. We certainly wouldn't want to be without our cars
Oh,
right
no,
now.
not
but
now.
it did kind of slow down all the businesses. And I remember these little local, I think there were about 11 little local grocery stores in Marseilles.
16.
16 at one time?
Yeah.
Wow.
Dean Dixon, Bob Yanrell, and I, we counted them.
Yeah.
There were 16.
16 little grocery stores people
Yeah.
had in their homes. And they
Where-
made their own sausage, didn't they?
Where the BP&E's at now, it was the Dodge Plymouth and
Oh,
Chrysler.
okay.
Across the street on the hillside was Tonelli's grocery store. Come down the street just a little ways, Mr. Kellerly. Now you go up over the tracks, get on top of the tracks, to your left was Barney Valero's Bakery.
Wow.
Now, kitty corner across the street was Mrs. Valero's. So that's four, just that little
Wow.
short distance.
And they all made a living just off of each other, and
Yeah.
the money stayed in Marseilles.
Well, the thing is, they opened the doors up. Just knock on the door. They opened it up, and you get what you want.
Yeah.
So, and they didn't have to drive nowhere. They
How,
didn't.
how long did you do shave and a haircut? How long did you have your store?
Well, I cut hair for 61 years
61 years.
and still doing it.
And still doing it?
4 hours a day.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh,
That's wonderful.
yeah. It gives me something to do.
So you go to work now.
Well,
You go to work.
right now I'm over to the VA
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah. For a while.
Recouping from the back.
Yeah. You'll be back.
Yep.
That's just wonderful. Yep. And you know, today's the day that I think that everybody at least thinks about and appreciates the fact that we had people that fought for America. And that's why we opened it up, and we're so appreciate the fact that you're here so people can thank you.
And them people all made a good living, and nobody got any trouble. And in the wintertime, Seattle, they didn't have to drive nowhere.
That's right.
They had the store right there.
And they could go to work at Nabisco, make boxes, and
Oh, Nabisco had it. That was something.
Yeah.
Now, my relatives and Joliet come in on the riverside, came up the hill, and all of a sudden, boom, in front of them was that 12-story building.
Nabisco.
And boy, they couldn't believe it, because see, Joliet never had one over 4 stories high.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they didn't have a one, and boy, did we pour it on them.
And the Nabisco building is still here
Yeah.
in Marseilles, yeah. But it's not operating now, but maybe it will, who knows?
Well, and the people who was in the plant across the street, when that went down, they all went to Nabisco. And if Nabisco cut back too far, they went down the street to the Certainty.
Yes, yep. So we had a lot of good businesses.
Absolutely.
I know we have a corn sheller here. If you haven't seen it, go look at it. And in 1873, there was a manufacturing they made corn shellers. And we have one here on display at the museum here.
I just read about them in the book.
Yes.
That's how far back it goes.
Yes, yes. And so we have one on display that somebody has donated to us, and so you'll have to go back and see that.
I will. And
Yeah.
then people, when I tell them that we had 3 theaters in Marseilles, they said,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
I said, we had the Ritz next door, the Coliseum over there, and the Mars Theater up there.
Yeah.
3
Yeah.
shows in a
Yeah.
little town like this.
And everybody went, though.
Yeah.
Everybody went to a movie. And how much did it cost to go to see a movie?
Well, I can remember when it was a nickel.
A nickel.
Then it went to a dime. A lot of people gripe because it doubled, but they still went.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, what a good memory. What a good memory. Yeah, you're doing well.
Well, thank you.
And we
Sam.
thank you for being our veterinarian.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, Sam.
Yeah.